I want to bring in Democratic pollster Margie Omero and Republican strategist Joe Watkins. Good morning to both of you. Margie, good morning.
Good morning.
Is this a fair concern, Margie?
Well, I think it's important to remember that Hillary Clinton continues to be popular. She's net favorable, has been for years. And what she said, people don't see me as part of the problem, is true. And we know that because her policies, and we know that her policies compared to really anybody that the Republicans can put forward, are about fighting for the middle class, reducing income inequality. And voters don't pick their presidential candidates based on how wealthy they are or when they became wealthy or in what speed, because every presidential candidate comes from some privilege. People look for a candidate who is going to fight for people like them, and they know Hillary Clinton's got a track record. They know what her track record is on that, and that's how she's going to be judged. So
some of the numbers here behind those who might be criticizing the former Secretary of State. The Washington Post found this on the Clintons' wealth. Hillary Clinton's speaking fee is upwards of $200,000 per appearance. In 2012, former President Clinton got $16.4 million in speaking fees. And during the 2008 campaign, the Clintons' tax returns show they earned $109 million over 8 years. The Clintons also own 2 homes together, worth almost about $8 million. Joe, you know, how do the Democrats here, how are they going to counter the argument? Margie gave us some ideas, but this argument is one that is similar to how President Obama framed Mitt Romney in 2016.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Richard. I think the way you handle it, it's not unusual for presidents and for first ladies and former secretaries of state to command high fees for speaking or to make money once they leave the presidency. This happens all the time with presidents. But I think that the idea for Hillary Clinton is to just be honest about it and not to try to downplay the fact that she and her husband have been extraordinarily wealthy and have made a lot of money since he left the White House. I mean, just be honest about it, talk about it, and I think that's the way you deal with it. I mean, every time a candidate tries to sidestep the issue, they get slammed on it, if they have great personal wealth. So the best way to deal with it is just to be open and honest about it and not try to, you know, cast it to the side or say, well, we're really rich, but we're not really rich. You know, just be honest. You know, say we earned our wealth and we're wealthy people, but we care about middle-class people.
Okay, so let's say that's put aside by both your suggestions here, but then there might be some issues that may not be able to be addressed as easily because of this dynamic. Margie, one of the Democratic pushes income equality. That message, would that be removed because of this situation?
No, absolutely not. I mean, look, again, we have presidential candidates and presidents from all kinds of backgrounds. What voters are looking for is someone who's going to fight for people like them. And you can be recently wealthy and still want to reduce income inequality. Those things are not mutually exclusive, and they're not mutually exclusive certainly in the Clintons. And so, again, I think voters are going to look at this. Now, I think she could have answered the question in a way that would have not made news, let's say that. But I think that voters, when they're going to be looking at her and deciding whether or not to vote for her, they're not going to be looking at her speaking fees. They're going to look at what they've known about her now for decades.
Joe, quickly to you, former South Carolina Democratic Party Chairman Dick Harpootlian telling the Washington Post this, quote, "I don't know whether it's just that she's been Madam Secretary for so long, but she's generating an imperial image. She's been living 30, going on 40 years with somebody bringing your coffee to you every morning. Is it more Downton Abbey than it is America?" So, Joe, you know, is the challenge here really more than money?
Well, I suppose it's the perception that really matters here, and this may be the first time if Secretary Clinton is the Democratic nominee for president that the Democrat nominee is far wealthier than whoever the Republican nominee is. That being said, it'll still be a fight for middle-class voters to share policies that'll get people back to work, that'll provide people with maybe better health care options than they currently have. All those things are very, very important. I think she just got to be very, very open with the American people about her wealth and not hide from it and say that, you know, I'm rich, but I'm really not that. I'm not like a rich person, because the perception becomes that she's really, really rich and she's trying to hide it.
Joe Watkins, Margie Omero, thank you guys.